press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Namaste children. Let us continue with the topic evolution. In our last class we discussed about the evidences like connecting links, vestigial organs, atavism, biochemistry and physiological evidences, and also embryological evidences, that all which helps in the study about evolution. In this class we will discuss about other evidences. So in that biogeographical evidences, under this we are going to discuss adoptive radiation. So adoptive radiation, it is a process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point and literally radiating to other geographic area, other habitats. Nothing but, for the examples, we have Darwin finches. Finches are small black birds. They are small black birds. So under adoptive radiation we have Marsupial adoptive radiation and Darwin finches. They are the examples for this. So usually when the Darwin studied about this, the Galapagos Islands, when he studied the Galapagos Islands are nearly 14 islands present in Pacific Ocean. They are present in Pacific Ocean, nearly 600 kilometers away from west coast of South America. So he observed in one island seed-eating birds. These finches originally they are seed-eating birds. Finches, what we call Darwin finches, are seed-eating birds. They are Darwin finches. So, when there is, after some time, when there is food availability is less, during that time, the one who is stronger, they are going to eat the food very fast. The one who is inferior one, what that bird has started, it started migrating to other islands, nearby islands. It started migrating to nearby islands. It's called radiation. They are radiating, they are moving from original habitat to other habitat in search of food. In search of food. So that is, it is the process of evolution of different species. So the some seed-eating birds who migrated to this habitat where fruits are more, they become frugivorous and they show the beak structure like this. And the birds which migrated to here in these islands where insects are more, they become insectivorous and they change their structure, beak structure, to eat the insects. So some seed-eating birds be migrated to this island. They are eating. They depend upon leaves. They depend upon leaves, and here they depend upon buds of leaves and flowers. Buds of leaves and flowers. So they change their beak. See, only all these different birds are showing changes in their beak structure. Whether other structure of bird remains the same. Feathers, color, the body shape, everything remains the same, but they are showing changes in the beak structure. Why they change their beak structure? They change to adopt themselves in that particular habitat based on the availability of food. This is nothing but adoptive radiation. See, it is the process of evolution of different species. See here, these four are different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point, from here, their own habitat is this, starting from a point, literally radiating to other geography or other habitats, is nothing but adoptive radiation. They are showing adaptation where they are migrated in search of food by changing their beak to feed themselves. So this is adoptive radiation given by Darwin. So after he studied small black birds, then these birds are named as Darwin Finches. Understood? So these originally all these species are seed eating birds living in this particular habitat. Once the source has become, food source has become less, they started migrating to other habitats nearby islands in search of food. After reaching their island, they just change their beak structure depending upon the availability of food. Like that, some birds started eating fruits, some birds started eating insects, some leaves, and some birds of leaves and flowers. Like that, they change their beak structure. They are showing changes only in their beak structure to adopt themselves in that particular habitat based on the availability of food. It is nothing but adoptive radiation seen in Darwin Finches. And same type of adoptive radiation we see in another example is marsupial radiation. So here that is ancestor stock antanu ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ancestor stock or marsupial radiation. How the Darwin Finches show the radiation, like this marsupials also show the radiation. Some of the marsupial have become evolved into marsupial mole, like spotted cuscus and flying phalange, kangaroo, Tasmanian wolf, Tasmanian tiger, see what's the difference between placental mammals or marsupial mammals. See, placental mammals are the mammals where their young ones are nourished before birth. Their young ones are nourished by a specialized embryonic structure called placenta. By a specialized embryonic structure called placenta, they are called as placental mammals or eutherian mammals. Understood? Whereas marsupials means, here the marsupials, they give birth to young ones in which the development is not complete. The young ones are underdeveloped. After giving birth, they keep the young ones in their pouch on the mother's belly. They are called as marsupials. They are called as marsupials. See the difference between placental mammals and marsupial mammals. In the placental mammals, their young ones are nourished before birth in the mother's uterus by a specialized embryonic structure called placenta. Whereas in marsupial mammals, these mammals give birth to young ones in which the young ones are not fully developed. They are underdeveloped. That's why they keep their young ones on the pouch on their mother's belly, in their pouch on the mother's belly till they develop. That's the difference between placental mammals and marsupial mammals. So this marsupial radiation is seen in Australia. So here also these marsupials, they migrated to other habitats and they give rise to different species in their different habitats. They give rise to different species in their different habitats. That is also example for adoptive radiation. Understood? That's also example for adoptive radiation. And this same type of radiation what we see in marsupials, the type of radiation is seen in placental mammals also in somewhere. That means in other habitats. So in one particular geographical habitat, we see placental mammals showing adoptive radiation. Placental mammals showing adoptive radiations, and another habitat marsupial mammals are showing adoptive radiations. Understood? So in two different habitats, here the placental mammals are also showing adoptive radiations, means these mammals are migrating to other habitats and they are changing in their structure and also food habitat based on their habitat where they are migrated. Same way the marsupial mammals also showing the evolution based upon their food availability in their particular habitat. But the evolution is occurring separately in different habitats, in different organisms, but they show similarities in that. They show similarities in that. That is, here we see parallel adoptive radiation. The mole, placental mole, resembles marsupial mole in their structure and also food eating habit also, and the selection of night, structure and food habit of all these placental mammals are going to resemble their corresponding marsupial mammals. The placental mammal shows similarities to the marsupial mole. Placental mouse shows similarities to the marsupial mouse. Anteater of placental shows numbat, similarity to the marsupial anteater. So these are very important for your competitive exam. They may ask the placental mole showing similarity among which marsupial mammals, like marsupial mole. Like that, each one is your competitive question. Like bobcat resembles Tasmanian tiger cat, wolf, placental wolf resembles Tasmanian wolf. Like this, these two adoptive radiations, they are showing parallel adoptive radiation. That is also your question. Placental mammals showing radiations in one habitat, at the same time marsupial mammals are showing adoptive radiations in other habitat. So these means they are showing parallel adoptive radiation, and that is example for convergent evolution. Convergent means they are showing similarities. That's why these placental mammals and marsupial mammals are also showing convergent evolutions. Understood? So, placental or eutherian mammals will show the similarities between marsupial mammals. So, this is about adoptive radiation. Understood? Next we'll move with evidences by natural selection. Industrial melanism is an example for that. So before that, see under this See here, evidence is by natural selection. Before industrialization, we are going on the tree trunk, lichens, white lichens were present. We know that lichens are pollution indicators. Lichens will not grow in the presence of pollution. So before industrialization, there was no pollution. Hagagi, the tree trunk is having white lichens. On that white lichen background, white moths are not easily detected by their predators. Robin birds are the predators for these moths. So on the white background, on the white lichens on the tree trunk, the white moths are not easily detected by the predators. During that time, the population of this was high, and the dark moths were easily detected by the predators, and their population was less. So the population is less. It is more in number. More in number, but they are less in number. When? Before industrialization, that is before 1850. So, on that white background, these white winged moths were not detected by predators. Their scientific name is Biston Betuleria typica. They are white winged peppered moths. They were not recognized by the predators on the white background when they are present on the white lichens. But the dark ones are easily detectable and they are eaten by the predators. That's why before industrialization, the dark winged moths number is less, but white winged moths number is more. After industrialization, as when the pollution was there, the lichens were not growing on the tree. That time the tree surface, the trunk of the surface is covered by smoke and dust. It is covered by black smoke and dust released by industries. So in that particular time, the dark wings are not detected by moths were not detected by the predators, but these white wings are easily exposed. During that time, number is less. White wing number is less, whereas dark wing number is more. So during this particular time, the nature selected dark wing. That means the species which are able to adopt in that particular environmental conditions will leave their progeny more in number. So that's why the dark winged moths were more after industrialization, whereas white winged moths were more before industrialization. This is an example for evidences by natural selection. The nature selects. What it tells, there is no extinction of any varieties in nature. Mainly depends upon the adaptability of that particular organism based on the environmental factors. During that time, this industrialization supports the black winged moths and their progeny will be more when compared to white winged. If it occurs for longer period, then that may lead to the extinction of some species like white winged. Understood? This is about evidences by natural selection. The dark winged or grey moth scientific name is Biston Betuleria carbonaria. Understood? They are also called melanic form. So this is example for industrial melanism by natural selection. Understood? So they will ask before industrialization which progeny will be more. White wing moths progeny will be more. After industrialization, black wing progeny will be more. This is about natural selection. Example, industrial melanism. One more is by anthropogenic action. So, anthropogenic means involvement of human beings. That is nothing but anthropogenic. So, development of herbicides and pesticides resistant insects. So, human beings, we started using herbicides and pesticides in the agricultural field to kill the insects. So, initially when we used for the first time, they started showing they show us very good response. After some period, they become resistant. After spraying the insecticides, they are not able to die because of the more number of resistant varieties of insects. That's the meaning of development of herbicides and pesticides resistant insects. Same way, development of antibiotic and drug resistant microbes. So, adike nodi tumba antibiotics kodbedi, after that the body will not respond to drugs anta heltive, because what happens, the resistant varieties will start developing. Understood? We can see when you use first time DDT. What is DDT? Dichloro diphenyl trichloroethene. Dichloro diphenyl ethane to kill the mosquitoes. First time when we use DDT to kill the mosquito, nearly 99% mosquitoes will die. And only 0.1% mosquitoes will not die. When we use first time DDT to kill mosquitoes, during that time we see 99.9% mosquitoes will die, 0.1% mosquitoes will not die. They show resistance. When we use this DDT to kill mosquitoes for 2, 3, 4, 5 months like that, during that period the sensitive are going to die, but this 0.1% will start increasing in its number. After 4-5 months when we use, or after second or third or fifth time when we use DDT, we see during that time only the 0.1% mosquitoes are going to die, remaining 99.9% will not die. Why? Because they show resistance to DDT. The resistant variety has increased in number when we start using DDT to kill the mosquito. Same way, we see the development of antibiotic and drug resistant microbes in our body, and also the development of herbicides and pesticide resistant insects in agricultural field. This is about evidences by natural selection by anthropogenic action. So this tells that, what it is going to tell us, evolution is not a direct process in that determinism, it is a stochastic process. It is not evolution is not a direct process. Evolution is it's not a direct process, it is a stochastic process. Evolution is a stochastic process. What is stochastic process? Nothing but evolution based on the chance of events in nature and chance of mutations in organisms. Understood? So stochastic process means chance of events in nature. Before industrialization, white-winged moths were more. After industrialization, dark-winged moths were more. That is chance of events in nature, and also chance of mutations in organisms. So when we use prolonged herbicides and pesticides in insects and prolonged use of antibiotics causes mutation in that organisms, that leads to evolution. That's the meaning. So this example tells us that evolution is not a direct process. It is a stochastic process. That means it includes, stochastic means it includes chances of events in nature. For this example, we can take industrial melanism and chance of mutation in organism. Example, development of resistant varieties. So this is about the evolution. Understood? So you have to remember, evolution is not a direct process. It is a stochastic process that involves chance of events in nature and chance of mutations in organisms. Understood? This is about evidences by natural selection. So one more we left. Evidences by biochemical recapitulation. That means here in the development of an organism, we see recapitulation of biochemical process which were present in ancestors, For example, tadpoles of frog excretes ammonia, whereas adult frog excretes urea. So what it tells? So amphibians are evolved from fishes. Alva. So tadpoles of frog excretes ammonia, whereas adult frog excretes urea. This is example for evidences by biochemical recapitulation. Like in human embryo also, initially it excretes ammonia, then it excretes uric acid. After the complete development, it excretes urea. So these are examples for biochemical recapitulation. So these are all the evidences that helps in the study about evolution. Understood? In this today's class, what is adoptive radiation? Very important. Examples, Darwin Finches and Marsupial radiation, adoptive radiation. The two are very important, and corresponding placental mammals and marsupial mammals are very important for your competitive exam. And explain natural selection by industrialization andaga. You have to explain that between the white and dark winged moths, before industrialization which number was more, after industrialization which was more in number, and the development of resistant varieties are also very important in the study about evolution. That also they will ask, explain evidences by natural selection which caused by human beings or by anthropogenic action. During that time you have to give examples of our development of herbicides and pesticide resistant insects and antibiotic and drug resistant microbes. And one more thing you have to remember, that evolution is not a direct process, it is a stochastic process that mainly involves chances of events in nature and chances of mutation in organisms. So thank you. Let us continue with this topic in the next class.